For over 1,000 years, it stood. A titan. An impregnable jewel, glistening at the crossroads of continents. Constantinople. Its walls whispered tales of emperors, of glory, of survival against impossible odds. A vibrant heart, pulsing with history, culture, and power. But even the mightiest beacons, sometimes, flicker. A shadow, vast and hungry, began to stretch across the horizon. A question hung in the air: could even this city, the legendary queen of cities, truly be immortal? Perched between east and west, commanding vital trade routes, Constantinople wasn't just a city, it was an idea. The heir to Rome, the bastion of Christendom. Its strategic genius was unmatched, its triple line of Theodosian walls a marvel of ancient engineering. For centuries, invaders had tested its resolve, only to be shattered against its stone might. It projected an aura of invincibility. Yet, history teaches us, every perceived invulnerability hides a deeper fragility. The Byzantine Empire, once vast and formidable, was a ghost of its former self. A collection of fractured territories, its power waned, its resources depleted. Decades of internal strife, external pressures, and crusader betrayals had taken their toll. The once glittering jewel seemed to lose its luster, bit by bit. It was a dying ember, clinging to life, while a new, fervent fire blazed closer with each passing year. A precarious existence. From the steppes of Anatolia, a new force had risen. The Ottoman Empire. Dynamic. Relentless. Its armies swept across lands, forging a new power that defied the old world order. Their gaze, inevitably, fell upon the ancient city. A tantalizing prize. For them, Constantinople was not merely a conquest, it was destiny. The next, inevitable step in a grand, audacious vision. At its helm stood Mehmed II. A young sultan, barely in his 20s. But his mind was sharp, his will unyielding, his ambition boundless. He dreamed of a city, not as a symbol of past glory, but as the pulsating heart of his own empire. He studied history, siegecraft, and human nature. He knew the legends, the failures. He would not repeat them. This wasn't just a military campaign, it was a personal obsession. To break an unbreakable city, one needed tools unlike any seen before. Mehmed understood this. His engineers, among them the Hungarian master Urban, forged cannons of unprecedented scale. Massive bronze beasts, capable of hurling stone shot weighing hundreds of pounds. Instruments of terror. Their roar would echo across the Bosphorus, signaling a new era of warfare, where ancient walls would face a terrifying, modern challenge. Inside the city, Emperor Constantine XI faced an impossible reality. A dwindled population, a fractured Christendom, and an empire on its last breath. He pleaded for aid, for unity, for a miracle. His forces, a desperate mix of Byzantine loyalists, foreign volunteers, and Genoese mercenaries, were vastly outnumbered. His resolve, however, was unwavering. To fight, to defend, to die, if necessary, with his city. The triple line of Theodosian walls. A labyrinth of moats, outer walls, inner walls, and towering battlements. Nearly 7 kilometers of stone and earth, perfected over a millennium. They had repelled Attila, the Avars, the Arabs, the Bulgars, the Rus. They were the ultimate defense, the very definition of resilience. Could any weapon truly breach such a monument to human ingenuity and perseverance? Mehmed's strategy wasn't limited to land. The Bosphorus, the narrow strait that guarded the city's sea walls, was crucial. To counter the city's great defensive chain, the Sultan conceived a daring, audacious plan. Ships, pulled overland, across hills, by sheer human will. To circumvent the defenses, to strike where least expected. A move that defied conventional warfare, a testament to his audacious vision. On April 6, 1453, the first cannons roared. The siege had begun. Not just a bombardment, but a systematic dismantling of history. Day after day, the colossal cannons, dubbed basilisks, pounded the ancient stones. Dust, smoke, and the thunderous impact became the city's grim soundtrack. The walls, for centuries unyielding, began to crack, to crumble. A slow, agonizing erosion. Inside, life transformed into a struggle for survival. Food became scarce. Hope, an elusive whisper. Every day brought new horrors, crumbling homes, wounded citizens, the constant threat of assault. The defenders, few in number, stretched thin, fought with desperation. They knew the stakes. Not just their lives, but the fate of an empire, perhaps even a civilization. The battle wasn't only on the surface. Beneath the city, another war raged in the dark. Ottoman sappers dug tunnels, aiming to undermine the mighty walls. Byzantine engineers, listening intently, countermined, fighting in claustrophobic tunnels, often hand-to-hand, deep beneath the very foundations of their world. A hidden struggle, silent and brutal, for the ground beneath their feet. After weeks of relentless bombardment, with breaches appearing in the outer defenses, Mehmed ordered the grand assault. On May 29, before dawn, the Ottoman army surged forward. Wave after wave of infantry, archers, and janissaries. A human tide, crashing against the battered walls. The sounds of battle, a cacophony of screams, steel, and cannon fire, filled the pre-dawn darkness. For hours, the battle raged. The defenders, exhausted and outnumbered, fought with impossible courage. But the weight of the assault, the sheer force of the Ottoman numbers, proved overwhelming. A gate, perhaps left ajar, or a section of wall too weakened, finally gave way. A fissure in history. The impenetrable city, for the first time in 1,000 years, was truly breached. The floodgates opened. Ottoman soldiers poured into the ancient streets. The organized defense shattered into pockets of desperate, brutal resistance. The city, once a sanctuary, became a battlefield. Houses burned. Screams echoed. The dream of invincibility, the legend of the unyielding city, dissolved in fire and blood. And then, the Hagia Sophia. The Church of Holy Wisdom. For centuries, the spiritual heart of the Byzantine Empire. A place of unparalleled beauty and devotion. As the city fell, its fate was sealed. The sounds of battle reached its hallowed halls. Soon, its ancient Christian symbols would be veiled, its altars transformed. A profound, irreversible shift. By noon, the fighting subsided. A haunting quiet descended, broken only by the crackle of distant fires and the cries of the wounded. The city was taken. Emperor Constantine XI, it is believed, fell fighting in the streets, a final, defiant act. On May 29, 1453, a dynasty that had endured for over 11 centuries finally met its end. A world, not just a city, died that day. From the ashes of Constantinople, a new imperial capital arose, Istanbul. Mehmed II, now Fatih, the conqueror, entered the city not as a destroyer, but as a visionary builder. The Hagia Sophia was consecrated as a mosque. The city would be reborn, not as a monument to the past, but as the vibrant, powerful heart of a new, sprawling empire. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe and beyond. It marked a definitive end to the Middle Ages, ushering in the Renaissance and an era of global exploration. Trade routes shifted. Political landscapes irrevocably changed. The dream of a unified Christendom shattered. The fall was not merely a military victory, it was a turning point for the entire world. More than 5 centuries have passed. Yet, the story of Constantinople, its final days, and its dramatic transformation, still captivates. It speaks of human ambition, of resilience, of the brutal realities of power, and the enduring legacy of magnificent places. It reminds us that even the most formidable empires, the most legendary cities, are ultimately vulnerable. And that sometimes, the end of one era is simply the fiery, dramatic birth of another.